Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I just want to let you know this is not my normal typical style of video whatsoever. This is going to be super different from anything I have ever done before. I'm just going to be kind of cleaning some candle jars, making some candles, while kind of talking about just a lot of things going on personally and also just business stuff and stuff like that. Gonna be kind of talking about mental health, things like that. Just a very different style of video than I normally do. But I just, one, I need to get things done, and two, I also kind of feel, I don't know, I just want to share like a little more personally with this video. I just feel like this is a topic more of just like I just want to sit down and talk about it over while we're making candles or something. And so if you're a candle maker and you want to also join me in your candle studio or your kitchen or your dining room or wherever you make candles, and just, you know, make candles and listen to me talk or whatever, because I'm not going to really be doing, I'm really not even going to be looking at the camera most of the time. I need to have all my jars set up over here. I don't know if you can even see them, but yeah, and I have a bunch of mess over here, but I have all my jars set up over here. I need to like clean them, wick them, and I actually have a few more jars that I need to grab. They're just in my closet or whatever. But yeah, this is gonna be a very different video than usual, kind of a more, I don't want to say podcast or vlog, but kind of, I would say somewhere in there, vlog-ish, podcast-ish style, I don't know, something along those lines, I don't know, one of those. But yeah, so don't feel like you have to stare at my face the whole time while I'm talking. You absolutely can, but that is up to you. The reality is, if you don't enjoy chit-chatty, just sitting down, talking about real life type of things, this video is probably not going to be for you. And that's okay. It's not a normal, like I said, not a normal style of video for me, but we're trying new things. Because I don't know. I feel like I want to be more real with you guys rather than the really, I wouldn't even say mega produced, because I definitely don't do a lot of production by any means, but more sit down formal type of videos that I've been doing lately. I definitely will still do those. I don't mind them, but I also want to be able to just sit down and talk like we're friends or something, you know, because I don't know, I feel connected to you guys. Hopefully you feel somewhat connected to me in some way. But yeah, so anyway, this is just going to be a different style of video. So something I feel like we, just in the business world in general, do not talk about nearly enough is the extreme highs and extreme lows that come with owning a, really any type of business, but especially a product-based business. Yeah, especially with like sales and things like that, with like, you know, if you do events at all and stuff like that, you'll kind of know, especially more what I'm talking about. It's great to have days where like, you know, you're at a market and you make, you know, 500, 800, 1200, 2000, whatever dollar amount you make at a market or whatever, at like a good market and stuff like that, all in one day and stuff. It's really nice. But then the very next day you go back to like, you know, for some of us, like I still sometimes, like I definitely have days where I don't make any sales whatsoever. And so, you know, a lot of the times that's after days where I have markets and things like that. Occasionally I will get sales after a market just because like people wanted to come and then couldn't make it out or whatever, and so they buy something online instead. But, you know, for the most part, we go from like making, you know, a pretty huge amount of money in one day or whatever for a small business, and then the next day back to crickets. And it's just, it can just be a lot, I feel like, for some of us. For me especially, it really sometimes like affects my mood and stuff. And sometimes it's not even like the next day, it's like, you know, the next week or however, you know, it eventually catches up to you and you're just kind of like, wow, cool. You know, and it's just hard because it's like, especially if you know, like me, want to make this your eventual full-time job and stuff, it's really hard because sometimes you're like worried about the constant, just the constant uncertainty and the constant fluctuation of your income and stuff like that. It's, you know, obviously it's very different from sometimes from day to day to week and month to month and all of that, you know, like for most of us, the summertime, it is June currently. This is the slower season or whatever for sure. It definitely picks up more so in the fall and winter, but you know, during this time of year, it's definitely a little bit slower for most of us and stuff like that, and so that can be hard. I know I always see, this is the time of year especially that I see a lot of candle makers giving up. This is when I see a lot of businesses closing and stuff like that, because sadly it just gets slow during this season and stuff like that. And thankfully, just in case any of you are worried about me or anything, I'm not giving up, I'm not quitting, nothing like that. None of those. Nothing like that. But it's something that I still want to talk about or whatever. You know, I feel like that we all kind of have that, you know, that eventual kind of just up and down kind of, you know, feeling with, you know, with sales, with just, you know, if you struggle with seasonal depression and stuff like that in the winter and stuff like that, you know, just general mental health. It can be rough on a small business owner because, man, it is hard, especially when, you know, like during the winter months, those are kind of generally, those are busier, or at least up until Christmas. Kind of slows down a bit in January just because people just maxed out all their credit cards, so they don't really have extra money to spend on candles and stuff like that, at least in my experience. But yeah, overall, the winter months, you know, and it can be hard just because it's one, it gets really busy and stuff like that, and then you go to the extreme opposite where it pretty much just dies or whatever in January or February or whenever, you know, and stuff. And so it's just kind of like this extreme high and then all of a sudden extreme low. And that can be a lot to deal with for anyone, but especially, like I said, for small business owners, just because, you know, we kind of don't really get the option to just be like, well, you know, I guess that is what it is, you know. We kind of have to at least figure it out, or figure out something to do or to supplement the income, you know, of that fluctuation and stuff like that, because if we don't, you know, then obviously we can't pay our bills and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's just a lot, and I wish I had a solution or like a, you know, I don't know. But this is more just a video where I'm just sharing my thoughts and sharing things, you know, that I notice and things that I go through and stuff like that. If nothing else, it's to hopefully help some of you feel like you're not alone, because I know that we all kind of struggle with this. We all kind of feel this way sometimes. But like I was saying, I don't really have a solution for you, but, you know, I just want to let you know that if you are feeling that right now, I just want to let you know that you're not alone. There are so many of us that feel that way and stuff like that on a weekly / yearly basis, especially during this time. It's just kind of one of those things. I don't want to be like super doom and gloom by any means, because that's just not who I am. And that's not what this video is about or whatever, but I do want to be realistic and, you know, just kind of catch up with some of you and ask, like, how you doing? How, you know, how are you doing mentally? How are you doing just business wise? Are you burnt out? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling like you want to give up? How are you feeling? I would love to know in the comments below. I love talking to you guys and like having a real conversation with you guys and stuff like that. How are you guys doing mentally? Physically, maybe, if you want to talk about that, I don't know. But just, you know, mentally, business wise, like, where are you at in this season? Are you doing well? Are you stressed out? Are you, you know, how are you feeling? Because I'm a little bit of everywhere, you know, like, we're doing pretty decent or whatever and stuff. I've signed up for a lot of markets this year, and so that kind of helps throughout the summer months. I see these other businesses like, and I understand that like it's hot and like they're, you know, and this is no shame to anyone who does this. Like, if you can do this, great, good for you. But like, this is already our slow month, and so if I took away markets during this month or during these months, these like hotter summer months, like, I don't know that we'd be making hardly anything. And so so I definitely, like, as much as I would love to take a break during the summer, and I understand why people do it because candles melt and stuff, and that's the sucky thing or whatever. And if you can take a break from markets during the summer, like, power to you, because I wish that I could, to be honest, because it's stressful. I'd rather just do markets during like the fall and winter and when it's colder, because one, I just hate being hot. I do not enjoy it at all. I don't like being out in the heat and stuff like that. I would rather be out in the cold if I have to be, but generally the colder months, like, most of the markets and stuff we do are like indoors and stuff, and so the other added bonus to that is that you don't have to set up a tent, and that's really nice. I'm gonna be honest, another thing that has been a little rough for me in this season has been, I launched a new collection. So this year I did my spring and summer collection all in one, just because it was too much to do for seasonal collections in a year. It was just too much for me, because like then I feel completely tied to releasing all 4 seasons or whatever in their own season, and then like every year summer would get like 0, like I would get hardly any sales, and then I end up with all these extra candles because I was doing my summer collections kind of later or whatever, because I mean it is late. It's kind of it's hard to, summer I feel like is the hardest one to balance, because so many people, as soon as summer actually starts, like I feel like Bath and Body Works is releasing their fall scents by the time summer has actually started and stuff like that, and just it's hard to figure out when to release those collections and stuff like that. And so like I always felt like I was releasing usually around the same time as other candle makers, but I don't know, just felt like most of my candles were not selling for most of the summer and stuff. And so then by the time fall came, I still had all these like summer scents and stuff that I'm then trying to turn around and get rid of and stuff like that. And so this year I just decided to do it differently and release spring and summer all in one that way, because then my summer scents kind of get more they get more time to shine or whatever, if that makes sense. And 2, it also kind of frees me up to be able to release some other scents that I've been wanting to do that don't necessarily fit into like a certain season or whatever. I can release those in the time between like summer and fall and stuff like that, and I have, you know, a little more time to kind of shine on their own and stuff like that, and they get a little more traction, if that makes any sense. So, but all that to say, I released my spring and summer collection, which is called the Bright and Bloom collection. And to be honest, lowest sales I've ever had for a new collection. And I know the reasons why. It was more than just the bad economy and stuff like that. I know part of it was, one, I didn't advertise it super well just because I've been super burnt out on social media, and I don't know why. I've just been super incredibly burnt out on social media, and I just haven't really posted anything like of substance whatsoever besides just like posting that like I have new candles available and to buy them, and like I post when I'm doing a sale, and that's really been pretty much most of 2023. And I know that's crap. I know it is. I know that's not good. I know that's not good practice. I know that's not good marketing. I know all of that. I do marketing at my full-time day job. And so the last thing that I want to do when I get home is to work on more social media, because that's what I do all day long at my day job. And so that's kind of a hard thing, because I know that what I'm doing doesn't work on social media. But here we are, still doing it, because I just don't have the time or the energy to do more than what I'm doing with social media, especially. So I know that that had a hand to play in it, and also the fact that I have ran into the problem with my business where I run way too many dang sales. And I'm trying to pull back on that now, because I have noticed that people more and more are only buying when I have a sale, and I don't want to create that culture within my business. I don't like it. I don't want to do that. I am not Bath and Body Works. I cannot have, I can't do constant sales, and like I'm still making a profit, absolutely, but it's not the profit that I want to make and stuff like that. And like I'll absolutely still do sales. I'm not saying not to ever do sales or anything like that, but I've just done way too many of them, and now people only buy, like I have the issue where people are only buying when I have a sale. And so like for every collection that new collection that I release, I always do a sale with it, because I got really nervous when I was first launching and stuff like that, and I did sales right away, like right when I was launching my business and stuff, because I was afraid that no one would buy my stuff or whatever without a sale and stuff like that. And so, but now I've gotten to the point where I know people will buy it even without a sale and stuff like that, or at least some people will, and those are the people that I want around and stuff like that. But it's just difficult, because now that I have kind of created that culture of like people knowing that I do a lot of sales and stuff, and they'll just wait until I do a sale, now I feel like I have to do the exact opposite, which is do like almost next to no sales, and that's really scary for someone who's been doing a lot of sales and stuff. And like the sales always go really well and stuff, like people buy multiple candles and multiple wax melts and all the things and stuff. Like I rarely ever like get a sale for just like one candle or one wax melt or anything like that, which I am really grateful for, especially since I do free shipping, which is another thing I really regret doing at the beginning of my business, because now it's just kind of ingrained in there. I can't really change it. Or if I do, I feel like everyone will stop buying from me. Thankfully, at least the shipping, like the shipping is definitely like I include it in the cost of the candles, so that's not that big of a deal. It is one of those things that like shipping changes so much all the time. I feel like that certain seasons I really regret offering free shipping, just because I'm like, it's a little higher now or whatever and stuff, but thankfully usually it comes back down or whatever, at least a little bit. But I'm gonna be honest, if you haven't launched your business yet, I would not at all suggest doing free shipping. I regret it. I kind of wish I had never done it. I wish I could go back and tell myself not to do it, because it's just kind of a pain to deal with, and kind of a pain when you're dealing with you know, like figuring out how much you make from each order, because it's never really a set amount for sure, because you have to think about the fact that the shipping was technically free, and so you're paying for all of it or whatever. And yes, like I include that in the cost of my candles, but it's still, you know, there's still always some, you know, just differences and stuff like that in the cost. And so when someone buys 4 candles, it's great or whatever, because, you know, you make a little extra money usually or whatever. But when someone only buys 1, which thankfully doesn't happen too often, like I said, or whatever, but when they do, then it kind of sucks, because you're like, well, most of that money, not all of it, but a good portion of it just went straight to shipping, and so, you know, that's always a little rough. But back to what I was saying before, the reason, you know, I know that people aren't buying as much is because I am not doing a sale with this collection. And I can tell now that, like, that is the reason, because I think they were all waiting for me to do a sale or whatever, and then when they realized, like, oh, he's not going to do a sale, because I've done a sale with almost every single collection, and if I didn't do it like right away, it usually happened within like a couple weeks of it releasing and stuff like that. And so I think that people have been waiting all this time for me to do a sale, and now they're kind of realizing, oh, he's not going to do a sale, and so they are buying eventually or whatever. It's just taking longer, and so it's a little scary as a business owner when you launch a new collection and have 0 sales the day of, you know, because at least for me, like, that's not normal. I usually have at least, you know, a couple at the very least or whatever sales, usually the same day that I release a new collection. And so the sales have, like I said, continued. Like they did eventually start trickling in, but it's a lot slower than usual and more spread out than usual. And so as a business owner, when you very first, you know, launch a new collection, obviously the hope is that people will flood to your page and buy right away and stuff. And this is the first time that hasn't happened to me. I wouldn't say people like flood to it, but, you know, I at least get like minimum like 3, 4, 5 orders or whatever like that same day, and then some kind of come in over, you know, the next couple days and things like that. But this time it was like several days after I had launched, and I had only made like a couple sales, and, you know, one of them was like my mom, and, you know, things like that. And so it's a little like, thankfully we did have 2 back-to-back markets, and the new collection I brought to both of those markets, and they did really well at those markets. People loved the scents, they bought them, stuff like that. So it wasn't as scary then. It was like, okay, people do like these scents. I didn't just pick horrible, terrible scents that like no one really likes or anything like that. It's just, you know, people were waiting. I'm getting people off the mindset of like, he's gonna have a sale right away or whatever, and I have to wait till that to buy. So yeah, that's another part that I would say, if you are just getting started out, you don't have to have a sale for everything. Don't be like me and have a sale every 5 minutes, because now I am kicking myself for doing that. And to be honest, that's probably like the #1 mistake that I would say, like if I could go back, I think maybe even more than the free shipping, I think I would go back and say, hey, like, cool it on the sales or whatever, because you're just creating a culture where people only buy from you when you're having a sale, and we don't want to do that. Do you feel like I need to balance everything I'm saying though? Like, I am so grateful that people buy from me at all, and so whether it's during a sale or not, I am grateful for it, don't get me wrong. But the reality is, I know that there are definitely people who are willing to buy even when I'm not having a sale and stuff like that. And that means the absolute world to me. I get friends sometimes who will Even when I'm doing a sale, they'll buy something and they won't put in like the discount code or whatever, and I'll message them and be like, hey, you know, it looks like you didn't add the discount code. Do you want me to refund you the difference? And they're like, no, I did that on purpose. I want to support you and your business. And like every time, that makes me want to cry. Like it's literally like when people support you that much, and they're like, you know, like, I know I could get a discount, but I want to support you and your business, so I will pay full price. Like, that is just, it's mind-blowing. But I want to hear from you guys. Like I said, how are you doing? I'm probably going to wrap this video up because I have talked now for like 30 minutes. It's probably not all going to make it into the video, but a good portion of it will. And I have talked for a long time, so... but I want to hear from you guys, like, how are you doing mental health wise? How are you doing just business wise? Is your business going well during this time, or are you struggling a little bit? I know we all are a little bit because of the economy and stuff like that. I never like to be one of those people who only blame the economy though for everything, because I just don't think that that's, I don't know. I just think that that's such a, you know, there are always businesses still doing really well during the economy, you know, during crappy economy times and stuff too. And so, like, I just don't want to ever get in that mindset of just, like, blaming the economy and just saying all the time that, oh, the economy's to blame, the economy is to blame. It's, you know, that's just not... I just don't think that's realistic. It's kind of like the same people I see blaming the algorithm for their, you know, Instagram posts not getting seen and stuff like that. I have been guilty of that, for sure, absolutely, you know, and I get it, because it's like sometimes you're like, man, I put so much work into social media and things like that or whatever, and then for it to not get seen by anyone and stuff, it's frustrating and it's super annoying or whatever, and you're just like, you know, looking for someone to blame. But, and sometimes it's true, and sometimes it's just, you know, you might need to try something else, or you might need to try, you know, something different, or, you know, whatever. I don't know, but like I said, we're just rambling tonight. We're hitting all the subjects all at once for zero reason. So I'm probably gonna do another video this week, just because I have a little more time to edit and stuff. It's not so much that I don't have time to shoot videos, it's that I don't have time to edit them, because that's the part that takes the longest. I feel like shooting them really, I feel like, does not take very long for me generally. It's the editing part that takes forever, because I do get talky, and so sometimes, especially lately, I've been trying to cut out a lot of like excess talking. This video will not be cutting out a whole lot of much. I'm just gonna, it's gonna be what it is. I mean, I'll cut out some things probably, but for the most part, it's just gonna be what it is. And we're just chilling, you know. This is a fun, just kind of, I don't know, just chill, more relaxing, more hanging out, just talking about things that we're frustrated about, things that are just not great in the candle business world, and things that are frustrating, or other business world. Realistically, it's not even just candle businesses, it's like all businesses. I apologize, I'm hand holding this, and so it's probably shaky, but my camera is about to die and I need to finish these candles up, so I'm gonna go. But thank you guys for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble. I will probably do another video this week, because this is not like an official video release. This is just a random ramblings video. If you guys haven't already, it would mean so much to me. If you do enjoy these type of videos, please give it a thumbs up so that I know that I can make more of these and you guys won't unsubscribe and leave me all alone here to talk to myself. So yeah, let me know by giving it a thumbs up if you like this style of video, and be sure to answer the questions I asked down in the comments below, just because I want to have a conversation. I just genuinely want to have a conversation with you guys about this stuff, and so yeah, just let me know how you're feeling, how things are going with your business, mental health, all that stuff. But some other videos are about to pop up on the screen, and I will see you there.